Story number 1. A king who couldn't sleep. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, there was a king who couldn't sleep at night. And no, it wasn't because he had too much caffeine or because his partner was snoring like a freight train. No, this king had a serious case of insomnia, but not because he was anxious about the state of the kingdom or the looming threat of a dragon attack. No, this guy was worried about his treasure. Yes, you heard that right. This king was losing sleep over his gold coins and precious gems. I mean, priorities. Right. So, what did this king do? Well, like any rational person, he hired guards to patrol the castle, installed a moat around the castle walls, and even hired a team of ninja warriors to protect his treasure. But still, he couldn't sleep. I mean, you have to give the guy credit for trying. But seriously, I'm surprised he didn't just sleep on top of the treasure chest. Anyway, the king was at his wit's end, so he turned to his advisor for a solution. And what was the solution? A magical herb called the Snorbee plant. Yes, that's right. Apparently, this plant had amazing sleep-inducing properties. Who knew? Right, so, the king sends his bravest knight, Sir Snorin, the guy's name alone should have been a warning sign, on a quest to find this magical herb. And let me tell you, Sir Snorin had quite the adventure. He had to cross a treacherous river, climb a steep mountain, and battle a fierce dragon. This guy deserves a medal just for surviving. Finally, he finds the Snorbee plant and brings it back to the king. And what does the king do? He has it made into a tea. That's right. The magical herb that saved his treasure and his sleep was just boiled in water. I don't know about you guys, but if I were the king, I would have just eaten the plant whole. But that's just me. So, the king drinks the tea before bed, and lo and behold, he sleeps soundly through the night. And what does he do to show his gratitude? He rewards Sir Snorin by giving him the title of Knight of the Snorbee plant. Forget about the fact that the guy had to risk his life to find the plant. All he gets is a fancy title. Talk about cheap. So, the moral of the story. If you're having trouble sleeping, just send your bravest knight on a quest for a magical herb. Or, you could just try some chamomile tea. But where's the adventure in that, right? Anyway, that's the story of the king who couldn't sleep and the knight who risked his life to find a magical herb. And if you're still awake after that, well, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should try counting gold coins instead of sheep. Story number 2. Man with unusual superpowers. Once upon a time, in a world where everyone was born with a superpower, there was a man named Bob. Now, Bob's superpower was a bit unusual. You see, Bob had the power of extreme flatulence. That's right. He could fart on command, and the sheer force of his gas could knock down a small building. At first, Bob was ashamed of his superpower. Who wouldn't be? But then he realized that he could use his gift for good. So, he became a superhero, the Flatulence Avenger. Yes, that's right, a superhero who fights crime with farts. Now, the Flatulence Avenger quickly became famous. He would roam the streets, looking for criminals to stop with his signature move, the fart of justice. And let me tell you, it was a sight to see. Criminals would be running for cover, trying to escape the smell of Bob's deadly gas. But one day, the Flatulence Avenger faced his greatest challenge yet. There was a villain in town, the foul-smell-monger who was wreaking havoc with his toxic farts. The Flatulence Avenger knew that he had to stop him, so he tracked down the foul-smell-monger to his lair, ready to do battle. And let me tell you, it was a battle for the ages. Farts were flying left and right, the air was thick with the smell of rotten eggs, and it was a race to see who could outfart the other. In the end, the Flatulence Avenger emerged victorious. He had defeated the foul-smell-monger with his ultimate weapon, the super fart. And the city was saved once again. Now, you might think that the Flatulence Avenger was a bit of a joke. Let's be real. Fighting crime with farts is pretty ridiculous. But here's the thing. He was loved by the people. Sure, his methods were unconventional, But he was a hero in his own right. And he proved that sometimes, even the most unusual superpowers can be used for good. So, if you ever find yourself in trouble, just remember, there's a hero out there who can defeat evil with his deadly gas. And his name is the Flatulence Avenger. Story number 3. Dave and his vegan girlfriend. So, have you ever tried to adult? You know what I mean, pay bills, do laundry, cook actual meals instead of just ordering pizza every night. It's not easy, but one of the biggest challenges of adulthood is dating. I mean, how are you supposed to find someone who likes you for who you are, when you're barely even sure who you are yourself? So, let me tell you about my friend Dave. Dave's been single for a while, and he's been trying to put himself out there. He signed up for all the dating apps, went to all the singles events, even tried speed dating, but no matter what he did, Dave just couldn't seem to find the right person. He went on date after date, but none of them clicked. One day, Dave was complaining to me about how hard it is to find someone. Maybe you just need to be yourself, and the right person will come along. So, Dave decided to take my advice. He stopped trying so hard to impress people, and just started being his goofy, quirky self. And you know what? It worked. Dave met a girl named Karen at a coffee shop. They bonded over their shared love of cat videos and bad puns. And even though Karen thought Dave's obsession with collecting Funko Pop figures was a little weird, she still thought he was cute. So, they started dating. And things were going pretty well, until Dave realized something. Karen was a vegan. Now, Dave didn't have anything against vegans. He just really liked meat. Like, a lot. But he didn't want to ruin things with Karen, so he decided to give veganism a try. And let me tell you, it did not go well. Dave tried tofu, and it tasted like a sponge. He tried vegan cheese, and it tasted like plastic. He even tried vegan bacon, and it tasted like disappointment. But Dave was determined to make it work. He started going to vegan restaurants with Karen, and pretending to enjoy the food. And one day, they went to a vegan potluck at Karen's friend's house. Dave brought some vegan chili that he'd made himself. And let's just say, it didn't go over very well. One of the other guests took one bite and said, "This tastes like sadness." But Karen didn't care. She loved Dave for who he was, even if he couldn't cook vegan food to save his life. And that's the lesson, folks, when it comes to love, sometimes you just have to be yourself, even if that means admitting you're not a great vegan chef.